Hi, listeners. This is Rachel, one of the hosts of Inconsistently Consistent, the podcast where we talk about everything and nothing. Normally, we would be posting a podcast episode as it is the second Friday. However, given that today is September 30th, and in Canada it is National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. For those of you who aren't familiar, National Truth and Reconciliation Day is the day that honors the children who never returned home and the survivors of the residential schools that were founded here in Canada, with the last one being closed in the early 1990s. If you're not sure exactly what the residential schools were, it was basically the government's attempt to colonize the Indigenous children and make them white. There are many different ways that you can support the Indigenous Creators and support those organizations who are helping them. You can wear orange. So it's Orange Shirt Day was created. You can get an orange shirt from organizations that will be donating their funds to Indigenous communities, which is something I highly recommend. There will also be activities and broadcasts that will be sharing voices from Indigenous creators, which is something that I strongly recommend people do. We will be linking some podcasts and some links below for those who are interested in learning more. One podcast that I've been listening to personally is called Stolen, Surviving St. Michael's. It's about a young woman who dives into her own past and learns about her family's story and how they fit into the residential school system. And she starts off by looking into the disappearance of a young Native woman in Missoula, Montana, who disappears. So I'm only a few episodes in. However, I do strongly recommend listening to it as it gives firsthand account from somebody whose family has experienced this. Another thing I would recommend is reading books by Indigenous authors to try and understand. I've been reading a few over the past year or so. One that I would strongly recommend is called They Called Me Number One, and it is a first-hand account of a woman who attended a residential school, as well as I'm currently reading a book called From the Ashes, which is about a Métis man and his struggle growing up as Métis in Canada. Also, if you are somebody who has family members who have experienced these atrocities, there are supports available for mental health especially. And as somebody who is working towards becoming a therapist, mental health is a big part of my life, and as well as I want to ensure everybody has access to it. So there is an emotional crisis referral number in Canada you can call. That number will also be linked below. And if you want to just kind of read more about how this came about, you can Google National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, and you can find it on the Government of Canada's website for some more information. That will also be linked below. We will be back on our regularly scheduled next week with a new Halloween-themed episode. Hope everybody enjoys your day. And yeah, that's kind of it. So, bye!